at the open. All-time high for the S&P 500.
It's your boy Jimmy. Jimmy.
Now what's worth doing is worth doing for money.
Straight from y'all street to Wall Street.
Anybody tells you money's the root of all evil doesn't make up.
Dudes wake up, hope their girl turned on so they can get a little bit. Only woman in the morning I wanna turn on this. Becky quick. While the average man looking at this act like she fine as it. I'm over here looking at tails and whips like 5-6. I left the mayhem for the market. Now I don't want a dope spot, I want a stock pick. I know that booty got dropped, triggered my stop losses, but I ain't got time for your wop. My V-wops crossing. Rich with hot V's and pushing hot strategy and plans to make grand. Still in my wife beater, Batman pajamas, house slides, and about 5 hot picks for the day. Cause I like the way the Dow bounces. 4 hot dips on call, so I got options. 2 with a lot of volume, 1 with a double bottle. Now I know dumb money don't understand. Am I talking about my trade or just thinking with my MACD? You see, we different in the way we move. You move with kittens and your dog, I move with bears and bulls. I got a green thumb, grow with the marijuana. Waking up with the fun, some commas. Jump out of bed, big profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, big profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs and now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETL, make profits. I jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. Yeah. See, me and Jim Cramer been talking mad money. Said today I'm taking a risk. They got the feds coming, but I got support here with me. I call a short squeeze. You get the drop, pull the trigger, and abort these. If she stay on my watch list, I might have to wife her. But I know better. I'm a true trading group lifer. Call up the Wolf of Weed Street. It's time to flip some profits. Go ahead, be hawking. Get your spot here. I'll double top that in the head and shoulders. Hit him up with this resistance. Watch him roll over. Cause I see John Wicks in contract. If I say I make $1 million a day, well, that's a large cap. You moving average, that's why you get crossed. Get split, get delisted, and knocked off. And I'm setting the whole block off. I'm buying GameStop and selling them roadblocks off. Jump out of bed, make profits. Eat my bacon and eggs, make profits. Light up, watching them candles, profits. While I'm still in my sand, making profits. They used to watch me move them packs and now I watch moves in the NASDAQ. Profits. Used to run from the ATF and them cops. Now I run down ETL. Hey, my family. Hey, go, what we doing, my man? Hey, make profits. Hey, Shug, Mike, what we doing? Hey, make profits. Yo, Wolf, Professor, what we doing? Hey, make profits.
That TTG money gang, we some snipers.
Hey, yo. What's up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to the True Trading Group live stream. My name is Michael Edward Parinati, and I go by Michael Edward. I'm the co-founder and head trader of True Trading Group. And in case you guys didn't know, we are a Benzinga FinTech Awards finalist for the best data analysis tool last year. And we are currently the fastest growing and highest rated premium online education platform that combines university level trading and investing courses with premium stock market tools, live workshops, and individual mentorship and coaching for stocks, options, crypto, and futures. We day trade, we swing trade. We also cover long-term investing. There's literally something for everyone here at True Trading Group. But we take that university level of curriculum and we pair it up with 8 professional full-time trading moderators that are with you each and every single day, sharing their screens, calling out their trades, answering questions, and providing market commentary for the entire day. We are not just gone after an hour or two and then you are left to fend for yourself. We're with you guys for the entire session. You also get access to our members, the most educated, helpful, supportive, and successful community of traders that you're ever going to find, not to mention the real-time alerts from the moderators and myself that collectively as a group have been able to maintain a cumulative win rate on all of our executions of just around 80%, now going on roughly the last 4 years. If you're wondering who I am and why I should really listen to anything it is that we discuss on this channel, it's because I didn't figure this stuff out on my own. I began my career working at T3 Alpha Fund in New York City, my first job out of college, where I had to go through a training program before they let me touch $1 of their money. Then 2008 happened, and that was the Great Recession and the big stock market crash, but it was also the same year that I received one of the firm's Trader of the Year awards. Now you just fast forward, and I'm the co-founder and head trader of True Trading Group, and along with my team of those 8 professional trading mods and an over 30-person staff, we've helped thousands of members from all over the world to reach their goals. We have members in 115 different countries. We truly are a global community here at TTG. So If you are ready to learn, trade, and profit for real, you've come to the right place, because 6 nights a week, Sunday through Friday, I go live on this channel with myself, other mods, and special guests. We'll drop golden nuggets, give you free lessons, education, trade ideas, and commentary to help you guys all become better traders and make some money. So if you've not yet done so, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications, make sure you never miss out on any of these streams. Super quiet day in the overall markets today. Why? Super quiet day in the overall markets today. Why? Because we're waiting. That's the markets did today. A whole lot of freaking nothing. Just back and forth, up and down, barcode type of action following yesterday's huge stock market decline and huge stock market sell-off. And I think that, when I sit here and I take a look at what the markets did today, I think that it's just a matter of waiting to see what happens in the Middle East. That's how I see it. I think that there's just, you saw how nervous the market was yesterday when Israel said that they're going to respond to this attack from Iran. It's the whole reason why the market sold off yesterday. And they said that they're going to retaliate. We don't know what that looks like yet. Maybe we get something overnight tonight, and we wake up tomorrow morning and we kind of have an idea of what that response was going to be. There was more news today that Israel had completed their preparations for this attack. There was still some dissent amongst the war cabinet of some people that wanted to show restraint, while others wanted to show force and a sign of deterrence in the region, and so that they had to retaliate to what Iran did over the weekend. So I look at today's market action as a little bit of a wait and see type of approach. And I think everybody is just, anxiously waiting to see what happens in that region. And is Israel's response something that is severe enough that it will require or prompt another response from Iran? And this is just how things go back and forth, because when does it end, right? If Israel then does something to Iran, Iran's like, oh, well, we have to respond now. And then they do something to Israel. They're just like, oh, we can't let that. And that's how an all-out war breaks out. Nobody wants that. Literally, nobody wants an all-out war declared between Israel and Iran, because that would be, I really think that would be a catastrophic event for what the Fed is trying to do. Not just obviously a catastrophic event in the sense of, obviously, war is never good and people die in war and nobody wants that. Not catastrophic in the sense of like, oh no, the world is going to end and here comes World War III and the stock market's going to go down 80%. I don't think that would be the case either. But I mean a catastrophic event in the sense of the Fed is having a tough time getting inflation back to 2%. You saw that with the last 3 consecutive CPI reports higher than expected. January, February, March, higher than expected. You have seen the probability of rate cuts go from 6 to 2. And now maybe even possibly 1. The market has now completely priced out the probability of a rate cut at the June meeting. If you recall, we just recently priced out the probability of a cut at the May meeting. Now we've completely priced out the possibility of a cut in June. We have also priced out the possibility of a cut in July. So the market now, as it stands today, the market is saying the first rate cut is coming in September. That is a very big difference from how we started the year with the market pricing in 6. Part of that is the reason why the markets have sold off so far in the month of April with your first red day for the month. And I can't imagine that the market's going to take this back and that we're going to finish the month of April green. I can't imagine that. Here we sit halfway through the month. We're down significantly. You got to go back to 522 on the SPY in order for us to go back to flat on the month. I think the only way that happens is if you get an absolutely ridiculous earnings kickoff here this week and next week. When you get your big mega cap tech names. If Meta and Alphabet and Amazon and Microsoft, they just blow it out of the water, knock your socks off. It's the only way that I think that the market would stand a chance at even going green. And even then, I don't know if we would. But one thing is for certain, the volatility is here. And I had mentioned to you guys a couple of weeks ago on a live stream, a series of live streams really, where I went over for 2 to 3 different streams where I said, hey, get ready for volatility. Get ready for volatility. I think volatility is coming now. It's not because I didn't think volatility was coming because I was able to predict, what was going on with Israel and Iran. That's not the case. That's not, something that I would be able to predict. But I just felt like the market was very complacent up there at all-time highs. And things started to get shaken up. And you got the CPI numbers that were coming out. You have earnings that were coming out. And I just felt like that was a perfect chance for this market to finally start to pull back. And you got it. And my target for the week has been met. My target for the week was met yesterday. It's, again, tested here today. This was my target for the week. Now, I actually think the markets can bounce from this level, but that's going to be dependent on what happens with Israel and Iran. So today was a big day for me, not because I was trading the indexes or because of large cap trading. Actually, today was a big day for me because of small caps. I absolutely slaughtered this Wiissa, W-I-S-A, huge win for members of True Trading Group today. This thing was an absolute freaking monster. And this was a 3R trade for me, P&L wise. So, closing out your trade 3 times one risk unit on the trade after you factor in all of your take profits, which is a big trade, however way you look at it. And I still left a ton on the table. I did not catch that part of the move. Okay. I did not catch that part of the move, but we took our entry literally all the way down here and we were able to capitalize on this huge breakout move that we were able to get on Wiissa. And there's a very specific chart pattern in here that I want to teach you guys here on this live stream. Now, my members of True Trading Group, you guys know the pattern well because it's one of the first patterns that I teach you when you join. It's actually my favorite chart pattern. And for those of you that are not members, you are in for a treat. Get your notebooks out because I'm going to teach you a pattern that's going to help you guys make some money. Okay. It is my favorite chart pattern. It's my go-to. And I'm going to talk to you guys about a little bit of a short squeeze confirmation signal when I do trade these small caps. And we trade everything at True Trading. We trade small caps, mid caps, large caps, stocks, options, futures. We trade it all. But when I do trade these small caps, there's signs I look for that shorts are trapped in their positions. And what I like to see is I like to identify price action that's indicative of short sellers coming into a trade where I say, okay, that price action I know is going to pull short sellers into their positions. And then when that price action gets wiped out, that's a sign to me that short sellers are trapped. So I look for very specific price action, and that's exactly what we did today. I came on the microphone today before I even got into my trade on Wiissa, and I said, guys, I drew a candle, and I said, guys, if this happens, if I see this candle, if I see this price action, I'm going to go long. And my stop loss would be around 275. I said, I'm going to go long around $3. My stop will be 275. I ended up going long at 298 or 297. I think it was 298 was my actual fill. And we were able to capitalize on a move all the way up to 460. And the stock ended up going as high as $8. But that was kind of after the short squeeze, and I wasn't looking at the stock anymore, and I was already out of my position. So I left a ton of money on the table, and I still, but still, even with that being said, it was a huge trade. So we're going to talk about what that setup was, and I'll go over it with you, and I'll teach you guys how you can identify it. And more importantly, what was that confirmation signal that caused me to believe that we were about to experience a short squeeze on WISA. So congratulations to all of my members that caught this trade with me. It was an absolute thing of beauty. The analysis was perfect. The execution was perfect. And we were able to walk away with a huge green day on a day when the markets were very, very choppy. Okay. As the markets just wait to see what the response is going to be between Israel and Iran. But the volatility is here, guys. Right? The volatility is here. And as we take a look at the overall markets, my thoughts are, here's what I think about the whole Israel-Iran situation. I don't know what Israel's going to do. But if it's a severe response, my next target is right there. Call it 497. That's my next target if it's a severe response. What does that mean, a severe response? If Israel, let's say, hits an oil facility or hits a nuclear facility or causes mass casualties, that's going to be a severe response. What is a not so severe response? I would say maybe if they hit like an arms depot where Iran houses some of their drones or some of their ballistic missiles. I don't know. And let's say that they just hit, a military supply unit, right? And maybe there's only like 1 or 2 casualties. I think that is a less severe action. Now, the whole concept behind this being a severe or not severe action by Israel really centers around what is then Iran's response to that. Because if it's not that big of a response, maybe Iran says, okay, that's fine. We sent 200 missiles and drones into Israel. You guys hit, an arms depot. You call it what it is, and we're kind of even, right? Or does Iran say, you sons of mothers, and now we're going to respond? If that's the case, and you get into this tick for tat, like who's gonna, what measuring contest between the two, that's how an all-out war breaks out, and nobody wants that. And the reason why I think that would be the worst possible scenario, it's not even from the humanitarian side of things, it's for the oil market and it's for inflation. If oil supply is disrupted in the Middle East, that is going to cause oil to push up over $100 a barrel. And I do not believe that the economy will be able to hold together if oil goes back over $100 a barrel. I am nervous about that. This economy has already survived one oil price shock, and that was back in 2022 when oil went to around $115 to $120 a barrel. The amount of stress and strain that high oil prices puts on the global economy is tremendous. It increases the cost of everything. Everything. It doesn't just increase the amount that it costs to fill up your gas tank at the pump. It increased shipping costs. It increased everything you can imagine. That puts pressure on inflation. Now, you know that the Fed is already having a hard enough time as it is getting inflation back to 2% with 3 consecutive hot numbers in January, February, March. Well, guess what? It's getting warmer out. And usually the summer is when oil demand spikes because people travel more, they go on vacations, people drive more, it's nice out, right? People go out and they do things. They don't just sit at home in their houses and their cars, sit in their driveway. There's a higher demand for oil in the summer months. Well, what happens if going into the summer months between April, maybe going into May, what happens if by May there's a full-blown all-out declaration of war between Israel and Iran and oil spikes to $120 a barrel? What does that do to inflation? And then therefore, what does that do to rate, never mind rate cuts? The market would probably have to start pricing in rate hikes at that time. Very interesting development that happened here today is you now have, when you look at the table for Fed futures on what traders are expecting as far as rate cuts, and you see the probability of those cuts, there was a new column added to that table this week, and that column that was added is the probability of a rate hike. Now, the probability is still basically zero, but it's not zero. You now have a 1.4% probability of a rate hike in May and a 1.7% probability of a rate hike in June. That's not zero. 2 weeks ago, it was zero. 2 weeks ago, it was not even on anybody's watch list or anybody's radar. Now, I'll be clear. I don't think the Fed hikes rates this year. I don't. I just think they're going to keep rates higher for a lot longer than people had anticipated coming into the year. But I don't think they're going to hike again. But if the market begins to price in a rate hike, this market's way too high. We are not priced for the possibility of a rate hike. If you were to see, for example, here's a scenario let's play out possible scenarios, if this, then that type of situations, so that we can be prepared for everything that comes our way, because we don't know how this Iran-Israel situation is going to play out. We just don't. So let's play out every scenario possible. Let's say that the conflict drastically escalates and oil does start to spike. And then your April CPI number is also higher than expected. That then turns into not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 consecutive hotter than expected inflation numbers. I said this last month when we were going into the CPI number for March, that the Fed told us not to worry about January and February's numbers being higher than expected. They said, oh, that's not enough to make us feel the trend has changed. It's not enough to make us think the trajectory of inflation is not still down. It's a blip on the radar. It's a bump in the road, were the exact words that were used. And I had said to you that I think 1 month higher than expected is a blip. 2 months higher than expected is a bump in the road. 3 months higher than expected is a trend, and 4 months higher than expected is a damn problem. That's the way that I see it. And if you get a situation where by May, this situation in the Middle East, I'm sorry for saying the word situation so many times, but if this scenario in the Middle East worsens and oil moves above 100 and your CPI number in April is higher than expected, you will begin to see the markets price in the risk of a possible hike later this year. You will see that get priced in. You'll see the probability of that cut, or excuse me, of the hike in June or July or September. You'll see the possibility of a hike start to climb. It'll go from 1.7% to maybe 7%, from 7% to 15, from 15 to 28, from 28 to 36. And if you start to see that probability of a hike go up, it's going to coincide with a down move in the markets and a move higher in yields. So bonds would sell off and stocks would sell off. Now, the interesting part of this is that with the geopolitical conflict, you typically see a flight to safety. Sometimes people will go and they'll buy bonds because they're unsure about what's going to actually take place. They'll go and they'll buy something like gold. Gold's already been ripping face to new all-time highs. And you're going to have this little situation where downward pressure on bonds as yields go higher, but then buying pressure into bonds is with geopolitical risk. It's going to be interesting. Very interesting. Now, I say this to you not to frighten you. I say this to you not to scare you. I say this to you to just make sure that you are aware of all of the possible ways that this can play out. Now, the other way this can play out is that the Iran and Israel situation fizzles out, things de-escalate, and it just goes back to Israel and Hamas. And Iran kind of drifts away and goes back into the corner. And then oil starts to pull back into the 70s and alleviates some of that inflationary pressure that it's been having for the last couple of months as oil has moved higher for the last 3 consecutive months in a row. And then you get a cooler than expected inflation number for April. And then it looks like the trend of inflation is now back to the downside. And the labor market holds up and earnings for the first quarter were better than expected and guidance holds. And then you start getting into towards the end of the year and you start getting into the election and everything else. And the markets usually move higher into elections. And then the market chugs along and you experience a soft landing. That's a possibility too. You see, I can't tell you how this is going to play out because I don't know what's going to happen with Israel and Iran. I think that's the wild card right now. And it's a wild card right now, not because of nuclear war or World War III or the world's going to end. That's not why it's a wild card. It's a wild card because what that escalation in the region would do to the price of oil and the impact that the price of oil has on the global economy and the inflationary pressures that that puts on an already extremely sticky and problematic inflation number. And then what that means for the Fed. That means the Fed can't cut rates. They might consider raising rates. And that means yields go up. And that means stock prices go down. So we have to be prepared for that situation. I think if that happens, my target is minimum 480. My target would be 480 if that happens. Let me delete these lines for you so there's no confusion. That's my target if that happens. Okay, there. That is my target if that were to be the case. And I actually think that that would be an absolutely beautiful, picturesque, gorgeous, sexy as all hell opportunity to buy something if you missed this entire rally from the October low up to the new all-time high. And why is it a beautiful place if you miss this rally? Because it's your previous all-time highs. And you would be pulling back in to reset and retest that previous all-time high to then bounce from there. I think it would be gorgeous. I think it would be beautiful. I don't think you can play it out, even any cleaner. And then after 480, another buy point for me. You want to talk about buy points for the long-term portfolio if you don't have anything? Another one's going to be 460. So 480 and 460, those are buy points. And then you want to know another buy point? Another buy point's 420. These are all buy points for me in the long-term portfolio. If you're looking for the market to get back to 360, I personally think you're dreaming. The only way that I would see us get back there is if there is, in fact, a severe recession, which I don't see that being the case right now. I mean, the data just doesn't even come close to a recession. I just don't see it. If my thoughts on that change, I'll certainly let you guys know. But if you're waiting for a 360, I don't necessarily think that you're going to see that. But I think a 480 test is definitely in the cards if the scenarios that I just mentioned to you play themselves out. Now, in the meantime, that's a little bit more longer term. But in the meantime, let's just focus on where we are today. And that's sitting on this big support level that you have here. And this big support level, I think the market's bounced from here, but it depends on what goes on with Israel. And I'll make this decision whether I'm bullish or bearish for tomorrow. I'll make that call tomorrow morning when I wake up and I see what took place. Or, obviously I'll be awake tonight and I'll see the news. I'm going to be following the news very closely. If there is any action by Israel tonight, what is it? We'll take a look at the futures market. We'll see what the futures market is doing. And then I'll determine whether I'm going to be bullish or bearish going into tomorrow. If it turns out to be a bearish play and it's a severe response, I'm targeting the gap fill to 497. So you can draw that line 497 right there out on your screen, and that becomes my target. If it's not, let's say news comes out that Israel's war cabinet actually decided after second thought to show restraint and they don't do anything. If that's the case, let's say if that's the news headline, I'm not saying that's going to be the news headline. I think they're going to do something. But again, we're going through if this, then that scenarios. Let's play devil's advocate. Let's say Israel's war cabinet says, actually, on second thought, we decided not to do anything. We chalk it up as a victory. They shot 200 missiles at us. We took out 198 of them, whatever it is. If anything, they're like, hey, nice try. You didn't even come close to even, hurting a single hair on one of our heads or even, causing even a crack in one of our infrastructures, our military capabilities, and you just chalk it up as a win, then I think the markets do this. I think you come into the markets tomorrow, and I think you have a nice gap up day, if that is the case, and you probably get follow through to the upside as the markets try to recover, and they go back to around 508.5 to 509 tomorrow. And if that's the case, I'll be long, and I'll be long most likely some semiconductor names. They showed some relative strength these last couple of days as the market have sold off. We have ASML has earnings tomorrow morning. Taiwan Semi is going to be coming up as well. And that's going to impact, a lot of the other semiconductor names. So I'm going to focus on some of those. I made a little bit of money long AMD today. Nothing to write home about. It was a small trade, not even worth discussing. But that's another trade that I would go after tomorrow if that were to be the case. Okay, so that's kind of the price action that I would expect there. And I would expect us to get back to test this previous support level. That was the low of the day from Friday. And then that also lines up with support here, and support here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 bottoms. That becomes the area that I would target back to the upside. You might even get as high as the 50-day moving average and get up towards 510. Okay, so I would target maybe a green candle that looks something like this tomorrow if Israel decided, you know what, on second thought, we're not going to respond. I think you get something that looks like this. Okay. So that's my thoughts on the overall market. Those are my levels and analysis. Like I said, I'll make the decision whether I'm bullish or bearish tomorrow after I see what Israel does. If it's the bearish case, like I said to you, it's a gap build of 497, and you would most likely gap underneath today's low and then just look for today's low and today's close to be resistance, and then look for a candle that looks something like this tomorrow. If the response is something that is severe, and by severe, I mean it causes a huge spike in oil prices, then I would say look for something that looks like this. Okay. And then just bleed it out down to that 497, if that's the case. Okay. But again, like I said, we'll make that call after I see what Israel actually does. Okay. So those are my thoughts on the overall markets, folks. Let me see. Congrats to everyone taking advantage of these amazing opportunities. Yes. Yeah, it's true, man. It is true. It is absolutely true. CNBC interview says a June cut is possible. Yeah, listen, I think anything is possible, but based on the Fed funds futures market, it's not. So I'm telling you what I don't know who said that on a CNBC interview, but I mean, anything's possible. I mean, the economy could fall apart in the next 2 months and you get a rate cut in June. But I don't think that's going to be the case based on the inflation data that you see. And right now, the market has priced in a 13% chance of a rate cut in June. 13% chance, which might as well basically be zero. So that means we've completely priced out the June cut. The July cut is underneath 50%. I think it's 35 or 40 something percent. I think it was 43 or 45% chance of a rate cut in July, and a 65% chance of a rate cut in September, which means the market has priced in the first cut being September. That's where we stand right now. Now, those probabilities change and they shift as economic data comes out. So you'll see these probabilities go up and down between now and then. But that's where we stand right now. Okay, that's where we stand right now. And, someone just brings up a good point. Like Tobias Hernandez says, congrats to everyone taking advantage of all these amazing opportunities. And the truth of the matter is, guys, that this analysis that I'm giving you here on these live streams, I mean, this is great that we can sit here and we can have these discussions after the markets are closed. But what you guys really need is you need real-time analysis from professional traders that are letting you know what they see, what they're doing, and where their orders are, what they're buying, what they're selling, where they're buying, where they're selling, so that you guys could go about your day, focus on the responsibilities that take up your day, like your full-time job, and actually be able to benefit and make money from what it is that we do here. A lot of people got a taste of the market during COVID when they were working from home, and then all of a sudden they're back at work and the pandemic is over. And a lot of people think, I don't have time for this anymore. And if you feel that way, you're dead wrong, and you're holding yourself back and you're limiting yourself, and you're going to regret it. You're going to regret it because you've already been missing out on the best trading activity that I've ever seen in my life. Today was a huge day for us. And the reality is that members, because of that analysis and because of that guidance by myself and the 8 professional traders that are with you in True Trading Group from open to close, calling out their trades, analysis, and answering questions, they're making money and they're becoming better traders because of it. Members are, not just the moderators, members are. And you don't want to just believe me because I say these things. You believe me because that's what members actually say themselves. So let's actually ask them. Members of True Trading Group, do me a favor. Very simple question. Type the number 1 if you guys are making money and you're becoming better traders because of TTG. If that is the case, I want you to go ahead and type the number 1 right now. Simple. Are you making money? Yes. Type the number 1 inside of chat. Anyone here that's not a member of True Trading Group should be paying very close attention to how many people they see. Type the number 1 on the side of the screen, because if these people can make money, then so can you. What is the difference between them and you? I ask. The answer is nothing. They just have access to professional level of education. They actually are learning what to do. They have access to some of the top trading tools that this industry has to offer. And they're part of a community of traders that genuinely gives a damn whether or not they succeed or fail. Don't believe me that members are making money because I say it so. Believe members are making money because they say it so. They're your friends, your family members, your coworkers. They are your peers. South Beach Motors made $970 today in just one day. There you go. How's that for a nice day's work? $970, all in a day's work for South Beach Motors. Getting better every day, says Money Flow. And many of you may think that, these people are making money probably because they're sitting at home all day and they work from home, or they're full-time traders, or they have all the time in the world. They have 7-8 hours a day to stare at a computer screen. You're wrong. 82% of our 10,000 members have a full-time job. They work over 40 hours a week. 82% of them How do you think it is that they're able to make money? It's not because they're sitting in front of the computer screen. We have truck drivers, we have cops, firemen, construction workers, doctors, lawyers, teachers, IT professionals, auto mechanics, HVAC contractors. We have every single walk of life and profession that you can possibly imagine in 10,000 members. They use the mobile app. You should too. It's free with your membership. You can follow along with what's going on in chat. You can see our screen share, listen to the audio commentary, get real-time push notifications when our mods enter and exit their positions. So you can follow along with all of our trades if you so choose. And again, I'll prove it to you. Guys, members, if you're making money while working a full-time job, comment in chat right now. What do you do for a living? What do you do for a living? Comment in chat if you guys are making money while working a full-time job. Comment in chat right now. Tell me what you do for a living. Go ahead. South Beach Motor says, I was at the doctor's office in the beginning of the morning. It was a really fun and easy day. All thanks to TTG. Amen to that. Let's see. What are some of these? South Beach Motors runs a car lot, I assume in South Beach. I got to come visit you. All right, let's see. Guys, comment in chat. Tell me what you do for a living. Here we go. Electrician, sales, property manager, runs a car lot, right? Read some of these comments coming through from members and see if maybe you see someone that does the same thing that you do for a living. The point is, guys, that you don't have to limit yourself because you have a full-time job. 82% of our members have a full-time job. If they can do it, then so can you. Real estate, accounting, barber, registered nurse. Do these sound like people that are sitting in front of a computer screen all day long? Because it doesn't to me. Now, listen, I get it. It's tax day. Yesterday was tax day. It's tax time, whatever you want to call it. But everybody hates taxes. I get it, right? I really do. So what I've actually been doing for folks is I have set aside a very limited amount of memberships for True Trading Group for those people that are interested. And I am giving them a 50% discount on the membership because of the tax deadline that was yesterday. And a lot of people are paying taxes. Some people are waiting for tax refunds, and I get it. And prices are high, and your tax refund that you're going to get, it's probably already spoken for, some of it. So, and I understand that. What I would like to see, though, real quick, is how many people are on here that are actually not members of True Trading Group. So if you guys can just do me a favor, I want to see how many people that are on here are not members of True Trading Group. And then listen, I'm going to give you guys a lesson on WISA, my big winner on the day. It's a specific chart pattern I'm going to teach you. I want you to look for it tomorrow to help you guys make money. So make sure you get your pen and paper out and take some notes. But go ahead and type the letters TTG if you are not a member of True Trading Group. We'll see how many people we have in here that are just not members of TTG. So just go ahead right now, guys, and type the letters TTG inside of chat now. All right, we got MagD. Tobias, you're a member. MagD. Excellent. So here's what we're going to do. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Anyone that's not a member of True Trading, you guys can go to ttgoffer.com right now. That is ttgoffer.com. Then what I want you to do is use the coupon code TTG121. You'll see when you hit the page, the membership is normally $1,212. However, with coupon code TTG121, you will type that in manually. You will click apply code. The price then drops down to $597 for the entire year. Everything on that page is included with that $597 price point. You get access to our 22-course curriculum, which is a simplified and expanded upon version of the training I received working at the fund. You will get the chat room where the mods and I share our screen. We talk on the mic. We're live throughout the entire day, answering questions, giving you our trade alerts. You're going to get the mobile app to be connected even if you're not in front of your computer. You've got a video library with 1,000 hours of workshops covering different topics. You can attend those all live when you become a full-time member. And then you're also going to get the watch list where every day the mods and I tell you exactly what stocks we're focused on with entry and exit prices. for you guys to know where to focus your attention before the day ever begins. So again, go to ttgoffer.com and then use the coupon code TTG121, click apply code. That price then drops down to just $5.97. And anyone that has any shred of doubt, I'm going to erase that doubt by offering you a double your money back guarantee. This is how it works. You join True Trading Group, you pay $5.97. Go through the courses, pass the quizzes, attend one study group. If you are unable to make enough winning trades after doing those things, if you are unable to make enough winning trades to equal the $5.97 membership fee, if you can't do that at least one time, I'll give you back $1,194, double what you're going to pay to join the group. Yes, it's real. It's right there on the checkout page. Our double your money back guarantees in black and white. Yes, it's real. Go read it. It's right there. I can offer you double your money back simply because our refund rate, it's less than 2.5%, and our retention rate is 78%. 78% of our members stay with us after they join, and only 2.4% and change want that refund. So our refund rate is 2.4 and change, and our retention rate is 78%. That's why I have no problem offering you double your money back if you were unable to make the $5.97 membership fee back at least one time. If you have any questions at all about anything that I'm saying, you send us a text message. We're fully transparent. We are an open book. Send a text to the phone number at the bottom of the screen. It's 1-888-306-8783. Again, it's 1-888-306-8783. So you guys can text that number with any questions or comments that you guys have. Let's head on over to the lesson of the day. It's Wiissa, my favorite chart pattern. It's a TTD triangle. And I'll break this down for you. For those of you that are experienced traders, essentially this is this is just a specific variation of the famous ABC, or most common ABCD pattern. It is an ABCD pattern that has specific criteria. I have coined it the TTG triangle, and I will show you now. Initial morning high that gets broken to the upside with the heaviest volume of the day. You can see this massive, huge volume surge when we took out that level. We then pull it back in, and that level begins to act as support. And then you start to form lower highs off of that support level, and that forms the TTG triangle as you form this descending triangle pattern against that initial morning high with decreasing volume on that pullback. That forms the TTG triangle pattern. And what I would like to actually show you guys here is this is how I look for confirmation signals for short squeezes. I look for trading price action that is going to be something that might pull a short seller into their position. And this candle right here, this big red candle that you see, this is what's called a rejection candle. You actually tried right here to break out of this ABCD pattern or the TTG triangle, and it got stuffed, and it reversed all the way back down to test that support level. When I saw that exact moment, I came on the microphone, this exact moment, I said to my members in True Trading Group, guys, that rejection candle should pull short sellers into their positions. If we hold this support level and we retake and engulf that candle, I'm going to go long. My stop will be at 275. And we're going to look for a short squeeze. Now, if you're not a member of True Trading Group, you obviously have no freaking clue that I said that today because you weren't in chat. So members of True Trading Group, true or false, did I or did I not come on the microphone this exact moment and say, guys, if we engulf this candle and we go back up to $3, I'm going to get long and we're going to look for a short squeeze with a stop loss at 275. True or false? Just comment in chat if you're a member and you were in chat and you heard me say these things inside chat before I even entered my position. That's what we do in True Trading Group. The moderators and I tell you, this is what we're looking for. This is what we're going to buy. This is where we're buying, when we're buying. This is where we're selling, when we're selling. You guys don't have to guess in True Trading Group. We tell you what we're going to do before we actually do it. Read some of the comments from some of our members that are coming through. So I said this to you guys at this moment when the stock was at $2.85. I said, guys, if this thing goes back up to $3, I'm going to buy it. Well, what do you know? 6 minutes later, bang. You get this big, strong green engulfing candle. So what did I do? I told you if this thing goes back up to $3, I'm going to buy it. So right there, I bought it at $2.98, and the rest is history. Okay, the rest is absolute history. Jay Robert says, why not show the video? Because Jay Robert, I don't record the entire single trading session inside of True Trading Group. That would literally be a very long recording from pre-market all the way through into the close. We're not going to record 8 hours of a day in just one session. So I don't have the video for me to play for you. It wasn't on YouTube. It was inside of our platform live while we are trading with our members. So that's why I understand if you're not a member, you have no idea that I said these things, which is why I'm telling you guys now, asking members to comment true or false. Did I not say that? Just so people that are not members are aware that these are the things that took place inside of True Trading Group. The only way for you to know for sure is to get your butt inside of chat with us. Okay. So I took my trade at $2.98 on the back of a TTG triangle. And then when you break out of this triangle pattern, you look for another increase in volume. And then you can see you get the increase in volume. We took out the highs. I took profits into this high of the day break. And then we got a follow through move. We got some extension and I just kept peeling profits. Off the table on this move. And I got flat at $4.60. So there you have it. So there's my trade. There's the entry, and there are my take profits. This is a monster trade, 3R for me, P&L wise. So I got into the trade, and you got to look at. You want to talk about risk reward? My goodness, God. So here's my reward. Right? Here's the size of my reward, and the stop loss was right underneath 275. There's your risk. I mean, that's just phenomenal. This is why I love this pattern. I love the TT triangle because it gives you such incredible risk reward, such incredible risk reward. You can see right there from entry to stop versus entry to final take profit. The risk reward is just massive. It really, really is. So it's a very high percentage pattern, especially when you get the confirmation of you're pulling in short sellers, right? That's a rejection candle. It's a failed break of a common chart pattern. That's going to pull in short sellers. When those short sellers then get engulfed and get wiped out, that's it. That's your buy signal. Now you play the long as short sellers cover their positions and then longs jump on and you get this follow through move, right? So that's a beautiful TT triangle. It's textbook. It's picture perfect. It was a huge short squeeze. This stock went way further than I had even expected today. And even with that being said, still a 3R trade was an absolute monster. So congratulations to all of my members that hit on this trade. If you guys did not make money on this today or you didn't trade it today, you guys are missing out. Get your butts in chat. Go to ttgoffer.com again and use that coupon code TTG121. Click apply code. The price drops down to $5.97. Check out, and then you guys are good to go. All right. So that's a 50% discount on the membership. You got a double your money back guarantee. I know I talk a big game on these streams, but I back it up with my own money. I believe so strongly in the platform that we've created that I'm willing to offer you double your money back. If you can't make back $5.97 at least one time after going through the courses, passing the quizzes, and attending a study group, I'm going to give you back $1,194. Our refund rate is less than 2.5%, and our retention rate is 78%. What do you have to lose? Any questions or concerns, text us. 1-888-306-8783. Phone number's right down there on the bottom of the screen. Otherwise, go to ttgoffer.com and use the code TTG121. Click apply code. Price drops to $5.97. Check out. You're good to go. That does it for me, folks. All of my accelerator members. I'll see you guys in 40 minutes inside the study hall for our next accelerator class. That's from 6 p.m. Eastern until 8 p.m. Eastern. So if you're part of my accelerator, I'll see you guys all in chat. Lesson of the day today is actually confirmation signals. We're going to use that Wiissa as a beautiful example on how to identify those confirmation signals. So I'll see you guys all in class for my accelerator group. My members, I'll see you in chat tomorrow. Those of you that are not members, I wish you guys the best of luck. We have earnings this week and we have earnings next week. You've got Israel, Iran, things are getting crazy, tons of volatility. I wish you guys the best of luck, but I don't think you should be trading through this stuff on your own. Get inside of a group of 10,000 traders from all over the world that are led by 8 full-time professional traders to give you guys guidance, analysis, and trade alerts. I'll see you guys all in chat tomorrow. Have a wonderful rest of your week.